Hey, this is Kevin with Estate Media House. I want to make a quick training on an issue I've been seeing a lot, which is why too many leads is actually killing your growth and stopping you from breaking through your current plateaus. If you're facing that in your business, if you don't have 5 minutes to continue and watch this, then that's fine. But you're going to be missing out on something that is a common occurrence for realtors and other brokers who haven't been figuring out, saying they need more leads, but that's actually not the real underlying issue. So before I get into that, I want to explain what's the difference between a lead and a qualified prospect. So I have an example of what's a lead and what's a qualified prospect there. So a lead, just they don't know you, they don't know anything about you, they don't know anything about you or your company or what you do. They're just a lead. This can be anything from a list you buy from a list broker like InfoUSA to someone you got off of a LinkedIn Sales Navigator searched, or you just pulled up the contact on your phone. And this is something I see a lot. Everyone's like, I need more leads to hit my goals. I need more leads. That's not always the case. You want more qualified prospects, people who are actually potential buyers and they know you and they know what you're doing. So an example of a qualified prospect here, this would be someone who, let's say they saw a post you made on a Facebook group, or they saw a post you made in a LinkedIn group, or someone you met on the golf course and they booked a call with you. And for example, it's like John Appleseed in your company. He booked a call with you, or he set up a time to talk to you at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and he's interested in, like, these are just some notes, like he's interested in the 321 Main Street condominium, and a little bit of notes he put in that his current annual income or annual revenue was around 400 to 600,000, and he's a businessman. That's what he does. That's his occupation. The big difference here is that this guy actually knows you. He knows your company. That's the major change. Like, these details don't pay too much attention to. Pay attention to that he actually knows you and knows what your company does, what you're all about, because that makes a big difference. It's almost as if someone's coming in as a referral compared to someone coming in just randomly into your door because they saw it. So a big misunderstanding is that I thought more lead sources is supposed to be better. It's supposed to be more helpful, right? I thought if I have 10,000 leads, I'll have $10,000 and all of them will buy my properties. All of them will purchase my listings. That's not always the case, because having too many leads ends up spreading you too thin. It usually ends up preventing you from building that relationship and building rapport with them, because you're reaching out to too many people, and normally you're not going to have that much of a follow-up sequence. Especially if you're a smaller company, you're not going to have that capacity to follow up with all of these people at the same time and be able to also build a relationship with them. So the other thing is that it doesn't give you any mastery of the platform or of that lead source. So if you're trying to get clients from Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Maps, everything, you're doing direct mail, you're doing email, you're doing cold calling, and you're doing 15 different forms of outreach, and all of these different leads you're reaching out to, you're never really building a relationship with them, and you're never really getting that many touch points with them. Something that we recommend to our clients before they consider any sort of prospect or qualified buyer a dud, you need to reach out to them at least 10 to 12 times over the course of a couple months, since not everyone is buying at that specific moment. Some of them might be buying later in the year. Some of them might say, I need to get something sorted out first before I can purchase this property, or I need to get something sorted out first before I can start renting here. And that's something you gotta keep in mind. But if you only talk to them once, or you sent them a quick email, then you wouldn't know about that. And that's one of the issues from spreading yourself too thin, because you don't have that connection and you never built any mastery of that platform. So I'm going to go into how you need to change this and how you can adjust that in your. So here's what you got to change. Pick one platform, pick one thing. That's it. And master that before you start looking into anything else. If it's going to be cold calling, master that. If it's going to be LinkedIn, master that. If it's going to be direct mail, do that. But you can't try to do 15 different things without having mastered any of them, because you might get a deal here and there, you might get a couple calls here and there, but you don't know where that's coming from. Is he coming from your LinkedIn? Is he coming from your Facebook? Is he coming from your direct mail? Is it because you did something right on Facebook? Is it because you did something right there? And that's something that leads to just spreading yourself too thin. It's like trying to pick up football and at the same time pick up tennis. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I put here, pick one platform and master that first. You should be building up rapport, building up relationships, building up connections on that one specific platform and averaging around 3 to 5 deals at least before you start branching out into other things. The other thing is to create a prospecting system to filter out your duds. So you don't want to be wasting your time with people who aren't financially qualified, aren't a good fit, and aren't even looking for your properties in your area. That's something we actually build up for our clients, so they don't need to worry about that. The only people they're talking to are qualified and interested in working with them, so they don't need to worry about that section. The other thing is creating a proper follow-up system within that platform. So, for example, if you're in LinkedIn, you need to have a follow-up system if you sent them a message or if they liked your post. Same thing, tailor your content and your outreach to that platform. So if you're cold calling, the way you're going to talk to someone on a cold call is completely different than someone who booked a call with you. Just the way you talk to someone who you met on the golf course is going to be completely different to how you're talking to someone who you're cold calling or someone that you talked on Facebook. It's going to be a little bit different. There's going to be some changes here and there that are within that platform, because a big difference would be between LinkedIn and Facebook. Not everyone talks the same on each platform. Facebook, they're generally more friendly and casual. LinkedIn, they're more corporate. So that's something you got to figure out and test out. The other thing is building out the follow-up system, which that's something we actually work with our clients in order to help them build out that follow-up system so they don't need to worry about that. But within that, you need to figure out how often do I need to be touching base with this person to figure out if they're actually a good fit or if they're just not in the position right now and they're going to change later on. Is this a buying criteria? Is this a situational? Is this a family? What issue is coming up with them that is stopping them from being able to work with you or purchasing that listing or renting out that listing? And obviously between that, you build a rapport, you build a relationship, and figure out what's the best course of action for them. If you have any questions about this training, if you're confused on do I have too many lead sources, I feel overwhelmed, what I need to do, then you can reach out to me at this phone number, or you can email me at kevin@estatemediahouse.com. The other thing, you can book a call with me for 15 minutes. We can figure out what's the best course of action for your business. What can we do to figure out maybe you have too many lead sources, you don't have enough leads, you want to figure out what the issue is, then we can hop on a call and discuss that. And that's it for this training.